Let us look at multiplication of matrices. We will look at a general example. Suppose you have this matrix. Matrix A is the matrix A, B, C, D. And let us say matrix B is the matrix E, F, G, H. Then I want to calculate AB. Alright? What's that going to be equal to? Now, when you multiply matrices, you multiply row by column. You multiply row by column. Now, when you multiply AB, these are the two matrices you will multiply. A, B, or since I have limited space, let me just designate these as the two matrices you will multiply. So B is here. E, F, G, H. Now, this will be A times B. So we have AB here. Now, what you're going to have as the answer is going to be a 4 by 4 matrix. And right now, you want the number that will appear in row 1, column 1. Remember, this is row 1, column 1. Row 1 is across the top, column 1 is down the left. So you want the number that will go there. You must multiply, therefore, since you want the answer that will be the number that will be, or the element that will be in row 1, column 1, you must multiply row 1 by column 1. Row 1 of A by column 1 of B. Alright? Now, what you do is multiply the first elements. So, it will be A times E plus, and then the second elements. So it will be plus. So remember, it was the first in row 1 times the first in column 1. Now it will be the second in row 1 times the second in column 1. So it's first by first plus second by second, row by column. Now you want the number or the element that will come here. And it is in row 1, column 2. Right? Remember, this here is row 1. Everything across here. This is row 2. Everything across here is in row 2. This is column 1. And this is column 2. Remember that. Alright? So, here now, what you will have is this element here is in row 1 and column 2, which means you must multiply row 1 by column 2. This is row 1, this is column 2. Row 1 of the first element times column 2 of the next element. So row 1, it will be the first element in row 1, A, times the first element in column 2, F, plus the first element, the second now, seconds now, the first are multiplied, the seconds now. Second in row 1, B, times the second in column 2. Remember, it's row 1 by column 2. Second in column 2. H. Because H is the second in column 2. You see that? Next, you want to find out what this element will be. And this element is in column 2. No, row 2, column 2. Alright? So remember now, what you have is row 1, row 2, going row 1 points across, row 2 points across here. This is in column 1, pointing up, column 2 here, pointing up. So this, whatever you're going to get, is in row 2, column 1. So now you must multiply row 2 by column 1. Now, row 2 of the first is this, column 1 of the second is this. You see that? So, the first elements multiplied. First, in row 2 is C times the first in column 1 is E. You see that? Plus, seconds now. Second in row 2, D, times second in column 1, G. Because going across the row, going from left to right, first, second. Going down the column, you're going from up, top to bottom, first, second element. So, it's row 2 by column 1. You have row 2 across, column 1 down here. Alright? Remember, row 2 going across, column 1 going down. And then what you have is first elements multiplied C and E, row 2, column 1, plus second in row 2 by second in column 1. Row 2 by column 1, seconds multiplied. So it is the first elements multiplied plus the second elements multiplied. Now, the next thing, this answer you're going to get here, this number, this element, is in row 2, column 2. So now, what you're going to multiply is row 2 by column 2. Now, what is the first element in row 2? Remember, when it's a row 2, is row 2 of the first matrix, A. It's C. It's going to be C times the first in column 2 of B. The first in column 2 is F. It's going to be F. Alright? Plus, then the second elements. What is the second element of row 2? It is, of course, D. Plus, multiply the second element of column 2 is row 2 by column 2. Second by second. D times the second element in column 2 is H. And there you have your matrix that result from multiplying A and B. Alright? Now, what I want you to do is to pause the video and this time multiply B, A. Do that. Pause and do it. Alright, you have paused the video. We had AB already and I asked you to multiply it by BA. What did you get? B first. We're going to have E, F, G, H, and that will be multiplied by A, B, C, D. Don't worry, at a later time, in another video, we're going to use numbers, but this time we're just general and are using letters. Now, it's going to be here. What you're going to get here is in row 1, column 1. So let's multiply row 1 by column 1. We're looking for row 1, column 1. What do you have in row 1, column 1? It is first element multiplied E times A. First in row 1, first in column 1, E and A, plus the seconds now. Second element in row 1, F, times the second element in column 1, C. You see that? Then the next thing, this is what you want. This is in row 1, column 2. So you must multiply row 1 by column 2. Row 1, in the first matrix, the first element multiplied plus second elements multiplied. The first element in row 1 is E, and multiply by the first element in column 2, B, plus then the seconds now. Remember, these are first and first, second and second. Alright? So it's E, B times F, D. F, D. Alright? So remember here, it was row 1 by column 1. First elements multiplied plus second elements multiplied. Because this is row 1, this is column 1. Alright? Then this one is row 1 by column 2. Right? This is row 1 and this is column 2. So you multiply first by first, first element by first element plus second element by second element. Now, let me get rid of this piece of writing here. And then the next thing that you want to calculate is what's going to come here. This is row 2, column 1 of the answer. This is row 2, column 1. Alright? Now, remember now, row 2 is this, row 2 in B times column 1 in A. So it must now be first by first plus second by second. So it's going to be GA plus HC. You get the hang of it now. So it's GA plus HC. Alright? So that's what you get happening. First by first plus second by second. Then in this region, this is row 2, column 2. So you must multiply row 2 by column 2 now. It's going to be row 2 by column 2. So it's first by first plus second by second. GB plus HD. You see? So it's going to be G multiplied by B plus H multiplied by D. Now, let's look at both answers. Here, up here, what you have? AE plus BG. AE, you could rewrite this as EA, no problem, but this is AEA. You could rewrite this as AE, so this and this are the same, but guess what? FC, this is BG, this is FC. So, in matrices, if you switch around, which one you multiply first, if you switch around the matrices that you multiply, the one on the left you switch to it being on the right, and the one on the right you switch to it being on the left. Example, you have A on the left, B on the right, then you have B on the left, A on the right. You get a different answer. So multiplication of matrices is not commutative, right? Right? So it is not commutative. Remember, to commute means to travel. So here A was on the left and B on the right, and then A traveled to the right and B traveled to the left. So A came over here, traveled, B traveled to the left. And to commute means to travel. So it is matrices, multiplication is not commutative, all right? So that's what you have there. So I will see you in the next video.